We need to get to a turn we can't make. Any of you ever driven a motorcycle? It's only a matter of time on a motorcycle until you come flying along at 85 miles an hour to a turn that you could only make and navigate at 35, and you go straight and the turn goes to the side. Because this is going to happen to anybody who actually rides a motorcycle. And you're shaking your, I mean, there's no question about it. And you're going to be flying through things that aren't road. This happens to anybody who rides a motorcycle. It has to happen. It can't not happen. This is that. Sit in this and endure it. And she is saying that it's her son's fault. This is way worse than your story. She's blaming her son for this. She's blaming her son for her predicament and her not getting along with her husband. Every single one of you has this regarding your own stuff. You go, I'm flying along pretty good. I guess I can go a little faster.
That's when you get reckless.
That's when you already are reckless. And then you go straight. All I need you to do at this point in time is perceive that that's the position you're in, is that you're at a turn and you can't do the turn. Try as you might. And you're locked in. That's all you need. And feel the locked in. She's in the tub and she's been putting on weight. We call this the hermit crab syndrome. The hermit crab grows, finds a shell, occupies the shell, and meanwhile it has to eat and stuff like that. It starts to grow. It gets too big for the shell, but it hangs out in that shell as long as it possibly can, because when it leaves the shell, it doesn't know what its next shell will be. And in between shells, it's susceptible. This is in between tubs.
Okay.
And it goes, I got to find some place that I can live forever, no matter how much I grow. It doesn't work that way. Who are you complaining to about how things are?
My father.
Okay. Who finish the line?
Who?
Come on, you guys. I know it's a long day, but my father who hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done.
On earth as it is.
That's who you're complaining
That's right.
to. No, that's it.
Yeah.
Because you have no interest in dealing with mortals regarding your problem. You go right to the top.
I blame God.
I know. That's where she gets her power from. Because you ain't asking God.
So is that
You're asking Asian women, and she's asking God. And believe it or not, they're different. And you guys think that's funny. Your degree of power is your degree of who you think your complaint is with. If you think it's with your dog, there's not a lot of power. If you think it's with your spouse, there's a little more. If you think it's with the Democratic or Republican Party, there might be a little more. If you think it's with God, you've gone right to the top. So then every time you cycle through this, there's that much power in it. And so every aspect of it is that serious. You're going to have to back this down. What complaint have you got with your dog?
14.
Now go through. Individual, comparative, cultural, quantitative, absolute. With the dog. You just can't do it with God first. Just flip it. Front letter, back letter. See, she doesn't want to do it with the marker first. She wants to do it with God first. You got to do it with the marker first. You got to do it with the marker first. You can't do it with God first. You just simply can't. It's too energized. The system is too pressurized. You can't do that. You went right there. So as she interacts with God, how relevant is her husband? Irrelevant. Absolutely, completely, and utterly irrelevant. The only option he has is to try and be superior and be God, since her complaint is with God. The only way he can have a relationship with her is be where her complaint is, which is with God, so he goes to absolute. And he tries to stay there by sampling some quantitative. So he wants a relationship with her, so he has to be God because that's where her complaint is. Well,
Is that where she's staying too? In absolute?
no, she's sitting in individual. She's a pathetic little thing. Trying to
She's
relate to God.
referencing?
Trying to petition God. And her husband is a mock God that she knows really isn't the real one. And he stays there so he can have a relationship with her. Meanwhile, she sits in individual, unable to even compete with anybody. She says, if God would come down and take up thy racket and pick up thy ball, I would hit thy court with God, and we would have a go-round. But until God does that, I am going to remain an individual and not move through any of these. It's a degree of retarded that she's doing so that she can have a relationship with her son.
Responsible, irresponsible?
Yes, perfect. Perfect place for you to work. Responsible, irresponsible. Perfect place for you to work. You get how tight the loop is. Her husband has to be an absolute, or he has no relationship with her since her complaint is with God. Her son is stuck in individual and can't find his way out, so she joins him there. And then there's Rob.
Witnessing.
Do you understand that I could do this with each of you? With the man. We can do this with each of you with the man. And we don't have time today, but we can do this with each of you with this man. What I need you to get today is that these are the stages, and I want you to practice moving through them. We illustrated with Rob. There it is. Pow, pow, pow. Gets him, pulls him right up to quantitative. Bang, bang. She sits right in individual. Can't deal with responsible, irresponsible. Thank you for that piece. Who's responsible for your existence? It's not about my existence, it's about my son. Get how there's now an object there rather than the pure essence of the thing itself? No, it's not about your son. It's about existence. No, it's about my son. Take the turn. I can't. It's about my son. Am I saying I would handle this better than she is? Absolutely not. You guys, do you get any sense of how tightly this is woven for you? This map lets you start to play with it and move around on it.